For this particular video, we're going to go ahead and blend some colors together for your paper mache trophy heads. So you can see I have the following things in front of me. I have a paint palette that's filled with different colors. Note, I can always go back and get more paint because this paint is about $8 or $9 a bottle. It's very expensive. I have all the colors I'm going to share with you today. I've got my water cup, I've got some paint brushes, and I've got a paper towel. Anything you see here you will need to wash out at the end of the block, so just be aware of that. Okay, so first things first, today we're using tempera paint. This is just for a warm-up, but for your final trophy head we will be using some acrylic paint. Basically acrylic is permanent and tempera is not. Tempera is a water base. So you see for this one it says a color faded into black. So what I'm going to go ahead and do for this particular one is grab my paintbrush, grab some of the black paint, and I'm going to go ahead and paint it so that it gradually fades out. Okay, I'm actually going to do a couple coats of this just to get some pigment on the page, but I do want it to fade out sort of over this way. Okay, next thing I'm going to go ahead and rinse, 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 blot, blot, blot. Let's say I want to go ahead and fade it into brown because my animal has some brown fur, but it definitely fades out to lighter stuff. I'm going to load up my paintbrush with brown paint and start to blend it over top. You'll notice it gets deeper because the black paint is still wet, and it actually does a pretty awesome fade there. So see how it fades automatically? Sometimes what I might need to do is do what I call a sweep, and once you have two colors that are blended together, decide for yourself as an artist which way it needs a little bit more of the color. Does it need a little bit more brown? Maybe you can add more brown paint, smush it a little bit more together, blend it a little bit more together. See how I'm doing that with the brown? Or if you need it to be darker, you would go black into brown. Okay, the more that you smooth it over, I'll go through it one more time. The more you smooth it over kind of like this, see how it's blending the colors together. It's not just like streaks of paint. That will be super helpful. Okay, so it blends a little bit more seamlessly that way. Color faded into white. I'm actually going to start with my color first. I like to start with the darker color and blend the lighter one in, but you decide what works for you. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some of the brown here. Let's say I'm doing an animal fur. I'm going to go ahead and fade it out to the white of the paper. Right here, something that looks like that. Rinse, 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 blot, blot, blot. My paper towel. Pick up some of the white paint, and I will go ahead and bring in the white paint from the opposite side. Okay, so in theory it should start to, you can kind of see it happening, start to blend with that brown paint. Okay, and again, if I feel like I need to do a sweep, which I kind of feel like I do just because that there's a huge line there, it doesn't blend seamlessly, I can decide as the artist if I want to go over from brown into white, okay, or white into brown. I think I like the way that looks actually a little bit better. You can see like animal furry stuff, okay? The last one says analogous fade. Let's say you're doing a mythical creature, it's whimsical, it's got lots of color. Analogous colors are side by side on the color wheel. One goes into the creation of the other. You have options here written on your page, so yellow into green, green to blue, blue to violet, violet to red, red to orange, orange to yellow, or for our purposes you can use pink, so red into pink, pink into violet, or pink into orange. Again, I'm going to use red into orange because you all know that I like my fire colors. So I'm starting with the darker of the two. I'm going to fade it out to the white of the paper. Okay, so I'm starting to fade it out. Then I'm going to bring in the lighter color.